Yo, yo, yo. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Everybody had a good weekend. I've got a really incredible guest, and that guest is none other than the legendary Kim Ballum. Kim, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Ryan? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't it weird that I'm hosting and I'm bringing you on? We've never done this before.
Right.
What's going on here?
Fun Kim and Ryan show. I love it.
That's awesome. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Dave should be popping in too. He's doing some other things at the moment that are a little bit more important, but he'll be here shortly. And so, I mean, Kim, so we just launched the AI challenge last week. I mean, what's your initial thoughts on just some of the feedback we've been getting on that? Isn't that phenomenal? The amount of feedback we're getting?
Absolute fire. Fire. I mean, honestly, I think my biggest emotion right now is jealousy. Like, you can start so soon in the online space and you can help people get started really easily. Like, you guys just streamlined the shit out of that. And yeah, so I can't help but be jealous. But yeah, fire. People have some really great feedback about it. A lot of questions, but that's normal when there's new things. Don't be afraid of change. Change is great.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I totally agree. And yeah, I've been seeing the same thing. That's why I brought it up, is because I had the amount of members that have come to me, even people that have been in our community for a long time, and they were like, this helped me out a lot. Like, this changed a lot of stuff for me. And I think we could probably spoil it a little bit now. You know, one of the biggest things we talked about in that is not just that with AI and ChatGPT, you use a prompt. Everybody kind of thinks there's this secret prompt all the time. You know what I mean? There's like, oh, what's the prompt you used for this or the prompt you used for that? Really, it's not so much that, but it's the sequence of prompts that you use. You know what I mean? So it's like not that one thing that you said to it that made it do whatever you wanted it to do so well, but it's what did you initially say? How well did you say it? And then what other things did you follow up with? And how did that lead to? And that's where I think you can make some really, really powerful things happen with ChatGPT for everything, right? I've even got this other thing. If anybody were to go to Dave's Instagram page and send him the DM decision, right? You DM the keyword decision. That sends out a lead magnet with a decision engine in it, and it's pretty cool. It's a sequence of commands where all you do is you basically just follow the command sequence that it gives you in the lead magnet, and it helps you with any major decision. I mean, even stuff like that. It's wild how you could ask it for an opinion on something, right? ChatGPT, I'm dealing with this. I don't know what to do. Can you help? Right? And then it's just going to kind of like stumble over itself a little while, and it'll be helpful and it'll be decent, but it won't be the best. But when you use the right command sequence, it's incredible how that will come back. And what happens now is you use the right communication with it, and it comes back and it tells you all of the things you could potentially do, right? Say you were dealing with a major problem like quitting your job, ending a relationship, something like that. It comes back with all the possible things you can do. It comes back with all of the reasons that you may or may not want to do that thing. It comes out with a way that you can justify it to yourself and other people if you ever were questioned and needed to. And so it's just a totally different response. It's a way that now you've got a way where you can very confidently actually make a real life decision in 5 minutes instead of struggling with it for 3 days. You know what I mean? So it's just, that was a long-winded explanation, but that was just, I mean, it's just incredible when you can do stuff like that. And I guess, would you agree?
Yeah.
Would you agree that it's the sequence over the individual prompts? I think was my initial thing I went on about.
1000%. And I'm sorry, I'm at a campground. It's quiet, beautiful birds chirping, and there's a couple garbage trucks going by right now. So I muted myself, but I'm like,
I can't even hear them.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay. So I think what was most impressive is because we eat our own cooking right here at Legendary, we eat our own cooking. So I started my own new tab in ChatGPT using those exact prompts, copy and pasted from the challenge. And I'm sure you could answer this, Ryan. It built my business that I currently have.
That's incredible.
Right. I was like, well, that's cool because that's what I'm doing. But on top of that, Honestly, like transparently, I think for a while I knew I needed to take another step in the business, but I wasn't sure really what I wanted to do. And when I put these prompts in, it gave me like several more layers of what's next. And
Mm,
just almost overwhelmed with ideas. I've got like ginormous to-do lists going off here, and I'm like, I have so many things I want to do. I literally am telling my husband, like, I wish there was so much more time in the day because I can't wait to put some
I
of
know.
these together and launch them. And like even going through my email campaign this weekend and making tweaks, like I'm halfway through it. It's just insane how quickly with Chat GPT and AI we can get through things. When I started 2.5 years ago, I literally dreaded writing emails, not because Chat GPT wasn't around, but I didn't know how to use it. And I mean, I sat down and wrote those
Mm,
emails and they took forever. So
for
whenever
sure.
writing emails or adding on to my campaign or broadcast was on my to-do list, I would procrastinate them because I'm
Oh,
like, it's just so time consuming. Um, and like gone are the typos, right? you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah, and it's like before ChatGPT, we had Grammarly, but that wasn't really like that good. I found that it would just kind of like mess up words that were correct more often than it actually fixed things that weren't. But yeah, no, I definitely. I mean, I spent, when I got started back 2021, I mean, it was like hours. It was weekends for writing emails. It was like plan
right.
that a week ahead of time, just be like, okay, I gotta wipe this day clean because I'm spending the day writing emails and
Mhm.
I'm getting caught up and I'm getting the next 4 weeks worth of stuff done. And and that was tough. Now it's like
But
not that
even
I couldn't
the
still
emails,
spend a whole day and just get way more done. But what's way better is I don't have to do that now. I can keep it so much more current. I've got my AI, my chat GPT taught and learned how I like my emails. So it's like now I could just come in and just actually just tell it what I want to write about, and it
mhm,
will just spit out a good
like
email, and then it's just a little bit of back and forth. So now it's like I can create that email so fast that I can actually make it, 10 minutes before I could sit down and do it 10 minutes before I originally wanted it to send, which is crazy phenomenal. And that's another reason that I think I've me personally, I've leaned a lot more into broadcasting with my email marketing too than I have.
same. Yes.
Yeah, because in the beginning, I totally was all on that automation game, and I was like, make another one and add it to the end of the campaign. And I don't think that's a bad strategy. I think for certain people, that's a really, really good strategy, and that's like the way to go. Um, but now with the broadcast method, right? And people ask me this all the time. This is one of the big questions I would get in like coaching calls and stuff is that, how many emails should I have? What's the right amount? And I'm
Yes.
like, well, I've
Mhm.
got 40 of them that send out in the first 35 days. And after that, it's all broadcasts. Right. So now
Yes.
all I got to do is go in and I just got to tweak I got these 40 emails, and a lot of them aren't even actually like emails just specifically promoting a product that I might have to change now because it's a different product or anything like that. Honestly, you probably could even just get away with keeping it the way it is. I don't know that anybody's paying that close attention when they go from an
Yeah.
email to what your offer was in the email to what you said the name of it was to what it is in the AI challenge when they get there now if you're promoting that product. But a lot of them are about promoting things like some other lead magnets that I have and a YouTube channel and my social medias and a few different blog posts that I've written that are then promoting softwares and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of it's doesn't have to be changed, but now I'm broadcasting and I can write it so fast. It's
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you're never putting stuff. It's almost like I'm never putting stuff out there that has to be updated because it's outdated. Whereas a blog is like totally the opposite,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Like I went down that rabbit hole and I spent a good 18 months just like I'm gonna make this thing work. And it did, it works, it brings me traffic every day and people join my list from it. But I mean, my word, it was 12 months before I started seeing any results. And now there was so many posts that referenced the 5-day challenge that I haven't updated yet. I could leave them, but I'm gonna want to go back over and start combing through all that. And now I've got hours and hours and hours worth of stuff to go and update, as opposed to, but with Instagram, that doesn't matter. You're not gonna go delete those Instagram posts. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna it
Well,
just
it's like, so these because I see a question in here, broadcast question mark. So when I first started, you didn't use Chat GPT as much. It didn't sound like you as much. And ultimately, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but it's because we didn't know what to put in Chat GPT to optimize it. And now we
Mm.
do. And so my I used to be like, okay, I'm never gonna stop emailing these people. And so I would just add emails into the end of my campaign because it took so long to write. Whereas now I feel like unleashed. I feel free. I know that sounds
Mm.
dramatic, but I feel like I can leave my automation. So in your automation, your workflow, depending on which system you're using, if you're going to continue using an email campaign, you're going to, leave those emails as is. I mean, and you can do whatever you want, but the power of a broadcast email is you can email them today and talk about Monday and the blues on Monday. You can email them and talk about the 4th of July. You can email them and talk about current events, your current lead magnet, your current offer, etc. And in minutes. So I actually just last night was talking to Chat GPT about this. Like, because exactly what Ryan just said. I was so proud of myself because I was like, Ryan just said what I've been doing. And I created like a monthly like template for what I want to send out and broadcast. And then you can make it your emails to your leads so timely, and I just feel like this is really going to increase conversions, because remember, when you have people in those email campaigns reading those emails, if you're able to pull on right now's heartstrings, you're going to have so many more conversions than just another email that would be automatically sent saying, hey, buy the product that I've been talking about buying for the last however many times you've read this email. So I worked with Chat GPT. I have like this, calendar template, and it's not for June or July. It's a calendar template saying this week I'm going to create so many broadcasts and, and send them out to this list. And then also a couple emails going out to this list. And it's just made me feel like in a weird way, I don't have as much to do. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah. Oh, totally. It totally does. Yeah. And I would say that I've, kind of got a similar way of doing it. And, that's something you're creating assets by doing that too. So as you come in, you could always just paste everything you have right back into ChatGPT, and it knows right where you're at, like right where you are today, right what you're looking to do, all that stuff. And so I mean, I do something very, very similar in a sense where I do it kind of like almost like project based, right? It's like kind of like I know I've got this particular post or this thing I want to talk about or this offer I want to promote. And then I just have the different segments and I just kind of work through how I want to email each segment. And it's so quick. And a lot of times I'll just usually I like to email my whole list if I can. If I can make something universally relevant to the entire list, it just means I have to do less, and I like doing that.
Mhm.
But you can definitely get way more, like you were saying, way better conversion rates. And I've even seen better personally conversion rates by emailing specific segments, but also referencing specific things that are happening, so they know it's happening right now. It's almost like
Right.
it's like, because the automation campaign is great and all, and it works really, really well. It's really good. And I still use it for a welcome series, but
Right.
those broadcasts are just so much more powerful, right? You get an email Sunday night talking about Monday morning, like you said, or even doing like a pre-launch sequence, like leading up to this product. You could do one of those anytime. We actually talked about it on this show last week sometime, or the week before, I think, the launch domination formula. And that's something where you could even start preparing your own bonus you wanted to give away with whatever you might be promoting.
Highly recommend. Talk with
For
ChatGPT
sure.
about your own bonuses. Every time you're selling something, you should be adding on bonuses. And it could be something as little as, like, I have 2 guides. I've already created them a long time ago. They're the easiest guides to put together. Tips on how to choose a niche, tips on how to choose a business name. And I got those ideas because people constantly were asking me that in my DMs. And so now I can just send a link and say, hey, I have a guide for you. And they think it's cooler that I have sent them this free thing than like answering their question in the DM. Like, oh, she gave that. That's so cool. That was free for me. So like come up with those freebies. That's ultimately what ChatGPT did for me in the last few days, is it gave me so many ideas on that like digital product next step that I feel like are just fire.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not only that, it can walk you through all those next steps as well.
Oh yeah, exactly what to do, exactly what to say. Oh,
Dave was here. It looks like he's here.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, he's here in spirit. We can hear you.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm driving, so I'm not going to be on camera.
Gotcha. No worries. How are you doing today? Hanging in there?
Well, hopefully my audio's okay. You guys are having a great conversation. I was listening to most of it. I got pulled in a random as of course, so many exciting things are happening here within our company, and like things that you guys are talking about, of course, with this AI challenge, and just excitement, growth, tweaks, improvements, changes, like all in the middle of this AI revolution that we're in. But saying all of that's happening. I have to go bring my 4-year-old son's shoes to school for water play. Yeah, I had to jump in the car and make that happen because they have everything spare at the school except underwear and shoes, and I couldn't leave my little man hanging like that. You know what I mean?
The power of your own boss.
Got to take care of that.
Yeah,
can't leave him hanging.
Got to
take
care of that. You got to take care of that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Can't leave a brother hanging.
Right.
No, man. No, I can't leave him hanging like that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let you guys get back to it. Obviously, I wanted to hop in here and just like say hello and good morning and happy Monday to everybody. And there's been just incredible excitement over the weekend about our everything that's being launched, and just the direction that we're moving in. And so, we're excited to continue to build on that, and just, a lot of this stuff we've already been teaching. That's one of the things that I want you guys to just realize and remember. This is not some fad that we're jumping on. We've developed this AI challenge, and finally release some updates to our curriculum that we can teach on in a systematic way, in a way that we know is going to be long lasting, and not just some shot in the dark kind of throw spaghetti at the wall and then clean up the mess a month or two later. But we've already been teaching AI has already been a part of our lives. We're bringing this to our community and people out in the marketplace, because we know that we can either pretend like it's not here, it's an elephant in the middle of the room, and we can, hold on to old school antiquated strategies because we're nostalgic about them or something, or we can just adapt. And this is how I'm seeing myself personally as I get older in age, this is one of those crossroads that I see that my parents and my grandparents were faced with in terms of adopting technology. Like many of them still haven't adopted it. You notice that? You notice
For
how
sure.
some of our parents and our grandparents and God bless them, right? Bless their hearts. I'm not here to criticize. That's the last thing that I want to do. I mean, I'm just calling spades spades. That's my favorite pastime. I like to just call a spade, mostly about myself if I can. And so the reality here is that we're at one of those crossroads like my parents and grandparents were, to where we've got technology that we don't got to like it all. You think I want to be making content and on my phone all day long and recording videos and all this kind of stuff? Come on, man. I mean,
I get that.
it's not my absolute favorite thing to do. I could think of a few other things that I like to do more. But I've developed a passion for it because it allows me to, I can help people by doing this too. I can in a way connect with people, stay connected while also being at my house and chilling and being able to run and take my son his underwear and his shoes after water play at summer camp at 10:26 a.m. on a Monday morning, where as if I was on a construction site, or Ryan, you were on a heavy equipment mechanic service run, or Kim, you were God forbid somewhere
He's like, where's
defending our country, or in a ER room or an ICU or wherever. You wouldn't be able to be hanging out at a campground right now tuning into a live stream either. So what we're doing here with AI is it's not hopping on a bandwagon. We've already been using it. And it's also us adopting it in a way that's not like it's our God. It's not like, oh my God, AI is it's going to turn you from a loser into a winner. It's not. If you don't want to make, if you don't want to work it, if you don't want to, learn it, it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to magically but it will, if you use it the way that we teach you, basically give you the power of about 5 employees starting on day one. And that gives you a real edge. And if you get good at it, as Ryan was talking about with the sequences, it gives you the power of 10 employees. And then 15 and 20, and before you know it, it's pumping out content, and then you've got your employees or your team or your whoever is working with you using it too. We even talk about in the sense of having your family and friends and right, just being more resourceful, using it as well, giving you more of an edge. Either way, the point here is that this is not, this is a crossroads for a lot of us. And I realize that as I get a little bit more gray in my beard over the years, that this is new technology. Here, I'm sitting at a light.
There he is.
Oh, here we go. Got to go back off driving. We're at a crossroads right now, and we can, you can either, I already am all in. I mean, one of the things that I love about Gary Vee is that no matter how old he is, he stays young in the sense that he's not afraid to go to platforms that are like brand new, where only kids are. And that's one of the things that I've always admired about him. He's a social media guru. If you guys don't know who he is, he's written books, and he owns a marketing agency that writes ads and does commercials for big brands like Dove and Coke and stuff like that. Well deserves everything he has. And he embraces the new all the time. I've been watching him for over 16 years since I've been online doing this. And so anyways, this is one of those moments, folks, to where it may not seem immediate, like you're going to get rich tomorrow, but you go feel it in 6 months if you don't learn this now. Trust me. You gonna feel it. This is one of those things, and I was thinking about this morning, that damn, I got started doing this. Some of y'all wonder why I know I don't look young, but I'm fairly young, 41, but I started doing this when I was 26. And look, I was thinking about this morning. I'm thankful I started when I did and didn't quit when I didn't feel like I was getting results or when I didn't feel like I was having a massive breakthrough. And that's what it's going to feel like as you're going through this AI challenge right now. It's like anything. And many of you who've already started, Kim, I'm sure you felt like that in the last couple of years. It's like, man, there's been some times where you're like, this is stupid. Why am I doing it? But then there's moments probably like today where you're like, God, I'm glad that I started when I did. And that's how you're going to feel about AI in probably even 3, but damn sure by the end of the year, if you don't knowing it and learning it and using it and just with it, you are essentially going to be like somebody who in today's day and age has never owned a smartphone, is only still using a flip phone. You know, who does not know how to, does know, and that's fine. Some of y'all are going, oh, I like my flip phone. Cool. I do too. Trust me. I think it's a cool concept. But do you know how much leverage and freedom having an iPhone allows me to have in my life with having all the work apps that I have on my computer on my phone? It allows me to do this stream with you guys right here, right now, in my son water shoes and underwear. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you guys later. See you inside the AI challenge. Get your ticket to Nashville. And Ryan and Kim, stay legendary, my friends. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, Dave.
All right.
Delivering the undies.
That's it. That's it. Got to do what you got to do. Yeah, it's an interesting point, you know, because like my father's one of those flip. I can't. He's not still, but he was one of those flip phone guys for you know, up until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And he now he's got I don't even know what kind of phone it is. It was a hand-me-down. It might have been my brother's or my sister's older phones that he just activated. And I remember there was this big to-do hearing. I wasn't living at home still, but there was this big to-do in the house where he was very upset that the phone company Verizon would not renew, would not put they couldn't activate a new flip phone or an old flip phone he had because they only have data plans and that phone can't accept a data plan. And he was forced to upgrade into the new smartphone, right? And it was like it's something he wouldn't stop talking about. And then he got the smartphone, learned how to send text messages, right? Started doing different stuff on it. And it was like within 2 weeks, it was like the best thing in the world. He was talking about, like, he completely forgot about all the other stuff. And it was just how incredible this new thing is, this thing he can do now, to the point where he's like coming to other people and he's like, did you know that you could do this? Did you know that you could do that? It's like, yeah, we've known that for like 15 years, Pops.
Is he sending you like memes and GIFs now all day?
Luckily, no. He does send text messages though.
Love it.
And they're those stern father reminders, like, make sure you call your mother for her birthday. And it's like, okay, thanks for the reminder. But it's funny because the reason I say all that is just because it's funny that either you're going to be really amazed and it's going to change your life for the better now, or you can just fight it and it's going to happen later anyway. So you might as well just get on the bandwagon and I shouldn't say bandwagon, but just like start learning it now and be somebody who's ahead of the curve. And I think if you're wanting to be somebody that's an entrepreneur and wanting to be in business, my personal opinion, but if you want to be in business and you want to, have a business that makes money, then you have to, right? You'll be, you're going to be left behind unless you're in some kind of business that just doesn't require it whatsoever. Like even the use of technology to a high degree whatsoever, then you're going to need this. But even if you're not going into business, just for your personal life, just for in personal day to day, the amount of things it makes easier. Like Kim, I don't know about you, but I use this thing for everything in my day to day. I had a window break downstairs. I was able to take a picture of the label on that window, send it in, and ask it what kind of window I needed to replace it and how to replace it. I've never changed a window. and
Yeah.
it gave me what I needed. And I wound up hiring somebody to fix the window anyway, but I had the right one here, which is
Mhm.
incredible. I
Yeah,
did the
so
same
you didn't
thing
have
with
to
my
charge
grass.
you
I
more.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm like super obsessive. I'm one of those lawn guys. I'm like super obsessive. Like, I'm gonna make the neighbor's house look like a dump. My lawn is gonna be so
I'm
good.
so
Like,
triggered. You sound like my husband. Right. What?
why, talking about the lawn?
Yes. Crikey. He's out there for like 5 hours. I gotta mow the lawn real quick. There ain't nothing quick about
Ain't
mowing the
nothing
lawn,
like that.
Kevin. Not when you're doing it. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm triggered. I wanted to mention about the new stuff. So when I worked in the hospitals, I used to teach all kinds of shit, like as a nurse. So my main role was teaching the new grad nurses straight out of school how to be nurses in the hospital. And I loved that. I had no idea why I loved that. But I also taught other classes to like other hospital staff. And I used to dread those classes because everyone's like, oh, change. You're going to make me learn something new. I just want to do it this old crusty way. And I'm like delivering a system that's going to make their day and their shift so much easier, but they don't want to get past the hurdle of learning something new. And like new grads, you could be like, this is blue. And they're like, okay, you know. so,
Yeah.
so I mean, it was like nice, but you know, they were so open to like, what's the process? And I don't know, having kids too, like they're so inquisitive and you can tell them just about it, like learn, being open to learning. I mean, don't be afraid, because I've seen that. I'll be transparent. I've seen that in the last few days. People are a little bit upset about some change going on, and like just open your brain to learning something new, because it's going to take you to a new place. Because if you don't, you're going to stay. So let's take it to the next level. Like, we're so blessed to have Dave and Ryan delivering these new challenges and this new material to help us take our business to the next level. Otherwise, we're just going to stay here, and we're like, you're going to get left behind. I don't, want to sound rude, but like,
Yeah.
learn the new thing, be open to learning the new thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And for sure. And, things, this is such a fast evolving. I mean, the mechanic space was similar because of the way they would evolve, especially when I was in the dealership working on brand new stuff. The way they would evolve the technology in those so quick, like one model year to the next, the amount of changes were incredible. This is no different, right? And so, there's things in the marketplace that are always shifting. And recently, I mean, this has led to major developments. I mean, this has led to major disruptions in the sense where, right, another thing we talk about in that challenge is no funnel. Talk about doing it with no funnel. Now, not only is that the piece that people have the most trouble with tech-wise setting it up, but it's also something that is not the best way in the world to do marketing anymore, right? If you're promoting organically, right? Which is what we recommend you do, is to go and promote organically, create free content to get free traffic, and to get, but looking at the conversion statistically, technically, looking at data and just kind of studying and experimenting with large amounts of traffic, it's clear as day that the conversion rates are so much higher closing sales and promoting products right in the DMs. And so it's interesting. That's another thing that because you mentioned, people are a little upset. That's one of the things that we've gotten a few responses from people saying, well, where are the funnels being taught now? It's like, well, the funnels aren't being taught because we taught you the best way to get leads on your list and eyes on your offer. We're still teaching you the best way to get leads on your list and eyes on your offer, right? It's just a slightly different way. And, with something like the ManyChat funnel, it's still a funnel, right? If you want to think of it in terms of, it's still a funnel, right? A funnel is really just, large amount of people with a wide hole at the top, and then a very small amount at the bottom end up buying, and you have a quick, and the idea is to make that process as quick and as effortless for them as possible and faster. And now we have the benefit of, I don't got to take them off the platform they're on. I don't have to ask them to opt in on a page and is asking them to read all this content on a page. And all they have to do is just leave a comment, right? They don't have to go to my profile, click a link, click a form, click a button, click another button, and then put their credit card in and buy.
Yep.
I can literally have them leave a comment on social media, open the message, answer the question, tap, and they're looking at my offer. So it's far less steps.
Yep. I put my lead magnet right on my bridge page last year, because if you, and this is what you got to do, you got to jump into the brain of your target audience. If they have to go to, they see your reel, and then they can comment and be taken, get a notification that you just DM'd them. They can pop on that and they're right in the chat. But if you are doing it with the funnel, they're going to be taken so many steps and over to their email. Then they have to read the email. Then they have to be taken over to another site, and they were doom scrolling. They didn't want to be taken away. So, and we all know what that's like, to want to just brain dump on your phone at the end of the day. That's what these people are doing. So you want them to take the least amount of steps possible. That's what I mean. I'm so jealous of this, technique that's being shown. And while I'm still going to use a funnel in email automation because I've seen success with it and I know how to use it, I do, like, if in case you missed it, this is for beginners to get their foot in the door, jump in with both feet, and have their system set up and generating leads and potentially income in hours. Like, which is, it feels wrong to say that because it feels non-compliant, but it's so true. Whereas so many people get hung up on the funnel and the email automation, which is an important skill to learn and have, but you don't have to do this as a beginner anymore. And that's just like a whole bomb, like mic drop right here in this space.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go back to one thing you said too, which is that you're still using the funnel and the email autoresponder. So am I. I'm not deleting those things. Those things aren't bad now. They're still phenomenal ways to. And if I were to do something like paid ads, I would use a funnel for that. That's something where I'd be sending paid traffic that one click, but it's a different scenario, right? It's an ad specifically designed to promote that funnel, and they click right onto the ad. It brings them right in. So you have that simple, seamless, very, fast flowing process there too. And, you could run an ad that has people send a message to you, but that's an instance where I would probably be using a funnel, right? So funnels are still good. They're still great. But in terms of, like you were saying, speed and look, compliance, I can appreciate that. But I'll be honest here. I mean, I've had, I've spent a lot of time in the software space. I have, just gotten an affiliate link and hours later had sales there for that product because of strategies like this. Now, having an audience gives you a bit of an advantage. Having an email list gives you an advantage and all these things. And these are the places you want to get to. You want to have that audience. Kim, I'm sure that when you sent out some sort of notifier to your audience that this brand new challenge was just released, you had people flying right in there, and probably way more than you even expected would be my guess. And that's just what happens when you have a good audience that trusts you and they follow you and they just like listening to you and they learn from you, and they've already experienced transformations from you being there on this, right? Yep. They've experienced transformations. And now they're, anytime they see an email from you, they're looking forward to that. They're opening it. And if you're recommending a product, they're going to buy it. And that's where we want you to get. But even if you're not there now, which most of you watching probably are not, you can legitimately use the method laid out in this AI Business Builder Challenge, because I have, right? Just having, and what is that method, right? I'll break it down real quick. Extreme clarity on what you're promoting and to who. And then more emphasis on what you're promoting, right? Or what you're selling, that offer, having a lot of clarity around that, and just having it so that way when they see it, it's very, very clear what that offer is and how it's going to help them. and then an easy way that they can buy from you. And that's really the three biggest things in a nutshell, surface level, that you're going to get out of that. And once you get those things taken care of, you can make a sale right then, right? You can do all that setup faster than the amount of time it takes for you to actually go through the training, which is 2 hours or less. And so I don't think it's unrealistic, Kim, to say that, somebody could, go through this process and be ready for income in less than a day, way less than a day. You could start that AI challenge in the morning. You can implement everything that's in it by lunchtime, and then you can, be marketing the whole rest of the day. And, with under 50 followers, you could absolutely generate a sale. Because if you have a great lead magnet, something that gives people an incredible transformation that they really, really like, and it's super easy. I mean, all they have to do now, you look at the other thing this alleviates too, the whole DM thing or the leave a comment thing. I'm not going to your profile and then seeing, 100 followers. Well, maybe I'm not gonna, right? I don't think people care about that as much as we worry about it. But, that's something that can no longer happen because they don't need to go to your profile anymore. All they need to do is see one video that they like.
Yeah. And that's all it takes. One video. That's all it takes to unleash. But you hit the nail on the head, Ryan. So when I started agitating my audience, I literally said out loud to a few people, why am I surprised so many people signed up for this list? I was like, I amazed, excuse my thumbs up. I amazed myself. I was like, but that also led me to go over to Chat GPT, and I talked to Chat GPT about it. Like, and hopefully this is a gold nugget for some of you. When something performs well, an email, a piece of content, a story, which by the way, I sold most of my challenges over the last several days from my stories, but I'm able to deliver, hey, I said this, or hey, here's this email and it performs well. And I pop that baby into Chat GPT and I say, create me more content like this. And so we're just stacking on, but the challenge gave me I need to maximize, because I already use ManyChat, but very, very basic. I need to maximize ManyChat. I already use ManyChat. I already pay for it. Why am I not using it to sell more things in my stories? Granted, these are all things that are going to align with my niche and for my target audience and solve the same problem. So I'm not just throwing shit around the internet, but why am I not doing that? That was, I think, my biggest question. And then because I had so many people through my stories opt into that wait list, I was just like, okay, hold up. We need to look at some stuff and optimize, because Chat GPT is able to do that for you. This worked well. I can't normally, and Ryan knows this. I'll be like, hey, Ryan, this worked well. Why did it work well? Because I'm a nurse. I'm a mom, and so I have to rely on the marketers to tell me why it's working well. Now I can leave Ryan alone and pop that in. I'm still going to ask him some stuff, but pop that into Chat GPT and it can recreate that. And if you're, one last thing, if you're an affiliate for Legendary, you can tag your links and see where your leads are coming from, where your sales are coming from, and put wherever that's coming from into Chat GPT. And if it's an email, you want to put that email way up at the top of your email campaign, or if it's a ManyChat thing, you want to make sure you create more of those.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I love that you mentioned that, the whole tagging and the whole tracking thing, because we do a lot of that with our ManyChat and the ManyChat attached to Dave's account. And we've got one attached to our Legendary account. And that tagging is like an incredible lifesaver just to track and know what's happening and where. And that's something that a lot of people overlook, and I'm sure there was probably a period of time, Kim, for you, that, as there was for me, that you didn't really pay too close attention to that stuff either, right? But now that you have, it's like game changing for you to know all that information. And
Dave showed me when I got my first sale that was tagged. I was like, this is so cool. I tag everything now. It seems obsessive, but I love knowing where it came from.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's lots of different ways that you can tag. I mean, we have a tracking system built into the back end of our affiliate program here at Legendary that will tell you where, if you use a different one on every link, you'll know exactly where every bit of revenue came from. But there's lots of other ways that you could do that too, with even just leads coming in different softwares that have analytics built in. That's that was one of the reasons people liked Bitly so much, because it had, or not Bitly, Rebrandly, because it had good, Bitly did too, but I think Rebrandly was a little bit better, and it was a little bit more popular for a while, which had it has the analytics built into it.
Yeah.
And so now you can basically create a link to anything. It redirects, so that's the downside, but you got those analytics for everything that you did. And now you can track, I mean, right down to, I mean, there's even stuff that's totally unnecessary to track. And sometimes we track it just because we want to see, right? It does,
right.
No matter what the data or the outcome is, it's not going to make a difference in anything, but at least we have it and we can see it.
Yeah.
And it's always great, I think, in an area like that where you can do way more than you need to, because you'll be able to do everything you do need to.
Yeah.
And that's really, really cool. And
yeah,
so
I had a tag come through the other day and I was like, I don't remember where that was. Like, I used so many tags.
Well, yeah, we run into that issue where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't remember where I put that link.
Where was that one at? Yeah.
Yeah. Which post was blog 47? Like, which,
Like,
you know what I mean? And that was, yeah. So if anybody wants to do that and they're tracking like their email links, I'll give you a tip. Don't put the tracking tag as email 1, email 2.
No, you're going to move those around. Yep.
Yeah.
Have a word that gives it away. Clear as day.
Right.
Yep.
I'll usually use the subject line or a portion of the subject line. Yeah. And unless it's just like a hey first name subject line, then I'll come up with something else. But usually that's exactly what I do too, is something that's a very obvious identifier that's that email. And then no matter where I put it in the campaign, it's going to, I'll know which one that is. No, but that's awesome. Well, Kim, it's been incredible. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Dave for a short bit of time, but with me for the last hour. I know I can be somebody that is hard to hang around for a while. I have to throw the self-deprecating comment in there. But what final words do you have for everybody here today? What does Kim Ballum, if you had everything, if we were to erase all of Kim Ballum from the internet and you had the next 60 seconds to share a powerful thought, what would that thought be?
Oh gosh, my biggest regret is not starting sooner. You heard Dave say he started in his 20s. Me and Dave are the same age, and I started just a few years ago. And I often think, why the hell didn't I start this sooner? I mean, I think about that all the time, where I could be had I started sooner. So get started. This is the online space. So just tell yourself change is going to happen and embrace it and be open to it. Because every time I'm at, and shameless plug for the mastermind, there's things I learn. And if I don't implement them, if I don't change, my business is going to stay where it's at. If I don't take the new challenge, my business is going to stay where it's at while everyone else takes off. So be open to change, get started, and dive in both feet.
That's about the perfect advice. It doesn't get any better than that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kim. And you can grab your ticket for a mastermind at legendarymarketermastermind.com/Nashville. You can see that on the screen. I'm going to be there. Kim's going to be there. There you go. Look at that, showing off the merch.
I got my swag.
We need some, I think we need some AI themed swag. We need some kind of like,
I got the hat too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We need like a half robot, half brain graphic like hat or something. I don't know. That's kind of what comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
No, that would be cool. That's something we definitely got to do. Maybe if I get time, maybe I'll look into that. We'll level up the swag a little bit in the swag shop. For those of you who don't know, if you go to belegendary.shop, you can shop for legendary merch. We got t-shirts, we got sweatshirts, we got pajamas, sweatpants, we got kids stuff.
Fanny packs.
This shirt I'm wearing is event exclusive, so that's not on there, but we've got tons of different stuff that you can grab. Socks, I think, are on there. We got everything.
Yeah, you have everything on there. I couldn't resist. Yeah,
and it's high quality stuff too. It's not no cheap crap. We definitely
the
have
prices
the
are
option to
on
go with
point.
the cheap stuff,
Yeah.
but
They're
it's
good, yeah.
it's good quality stuff. You know, that good comfortable material, not that really itchy with the thick threads in the
Oh
shoulders.
no, this is, I'm gonna live in this. I've even already put breakfast on it. Like, I'm gonna live in it. Yeah.
There you go. Put breakfast on. I
Yeah,
love it.
here it is. Par for the course here. Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. Awesome, guys. Well, we'll be back tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And stay legendary, my friends.
Stay
Tim,
legendary.
thanks for being on. I'll
Thanks,
talk to you soon.
Ryan. Thanks, Dave.